Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Hope everyone is doing awesome. Today is Tuesday. Date. Gosh, what is today? It is the 3rd of September. 3rd of September. So I'm Coach Jay. Welcome to the live.
3rd
Come
of
on in,
September.
come on in, come on in. Hashtag live to comment live, hashtag replay to comment replay. Definitely tag your business besties. This is the live that everybody needs to be on. Even if you're not, um, even if you're not a melanated skin complexion, definitely tune in anyway. Let me just go ahead. So make sure you turn your notifications on to listen in on, how you can better your life, how you can get yourself together. This is really about you and your children. This is really about your, some of y'all are hiding behind the rose-colored glasses, and you're hiding behind procrastination. You're hiding behind trauma. As a business and leadership coach, I own a coaching and consulting company called Ellison Consulting. I've been in operation for full time for about 4 years. But I've been coaching for almost a decade on a professional level. And one of the things that I do is I study brains, I study minds, I study sociological issues or societal issues and how that relates to business, understanding the capitalistic structure in the game that we're in. I think some people fail to understand that we are in capitalism, and you have the democracy and you have the republic. So you're living in both. You're living in two different types of government at the same time. And not to dig too much into some of those trigger words where my content is suppressed, but we definitely want to tackle this because I do believe that my platform, I can literally talk about the values that are important to me, and hopefully it gets some of you to start thinking about your own belief systems, ask questions, critical thought, and then also having these conversations later with your friends, later with your church folks, church buddies, business besties, and et cetera, right? And your families, because I'm trying to create content that is centered around the values and the mindset of what I'm wanting to challenge in so many ways, so that we can move more people into a system or in a space where you're thriving in Babylon. And that's pretty much anybody. Okay. But specifically, not to say that my ideal client is a Black woman or a Black man or the race of, because Black is a race. I'm not saying that that is the case, but because I'm a Black woman, I can't ignore a lot of the disparities on a natural level, that we have to do a little bit more inner work than some of our counterparts when it comes down to being in a system where you are quote unquote chosen to be at the bottom. Okay. And when I say quote unquote, that means you have an opportunity to climb up. Okay. Is this a pro-Black conversation? No. This is a systemic conversation, but with respect to the fact that you're going to have to start thinking for yourself, because either you're going to be Black or you're going to be proud, Black, and rich. Amen, somebody. Just FYI. It's going to be one of those types of conversations. So if you're watching live, like I said, comments live. If you're watching the replay, definitely comment replay. Want to know who is here, who's watching. Give me some hearts if you are in. I would love, love, love to know. I'm back in the office today with the matriarchs. And I got a laser strategy session today. And I'm so excited to serve this person. But we're going on, y'all. We are going right on. And that's without apology. So like I said, let me know if you are live, hashtag live, as you already know the drill. Want to make sure that we are in the right spaces and that we got people that are ready to listen. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do with this particular conversation is that I'm going to talk about the permanent underclass. I know that that is extremely triggering for a lot of you, but that is happening. And I'm a business coach that focuses on not only the mindset level, but also leadership when it comes down to moving people through and moving them into different concepts that really expand their thinking. Spiritually, you do have power, but you're going to have to work on it. Okay. Got a little issue with my allergies here. Okay. So this is about moving people through a system. And spiritually, you have to really, really increase your power in certain areas. Okay. And I think that that's the part that we're missing, is that we're not understanding this is about universal principle and not your religion. The look and the image is religion. The institution is religion. But when it comes down to spiritual law and universal principles, this is where I lose about 80% of y'all. Because indoctrination is down into the muscle. All right. We're going in. We are going in. Like I said, this is going to be the conversation that you need to be a part of. If you're watching live, comment live. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. For some reason, I can't see comments. I want to make sure that I can see y'all. I'm so excited about today. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, this is going to be a heavy one. This is going to be a heavy conversation. And this is prompted by an MIT article or a story that was, I don't know why that was hidden. There was a story on MIT that came out, I believe, a week or so ago, that talked about the affirmative action, that this school was the first one really to report results when it comes down to college enrollment. Okay. So MIT was one of the first ones to report the effects of affirmative action. So those of you who are in the dark about affirmative action, or you really never understood what affirmative action really is, this is a really, really big conversation. Let me see here. There's some people DMing me. So I want to just revisit what affirmative action is, just so you can have, and I'm kind of doing a paraphrase, but affirmative action is definitely a set of policies and practices that is designed to address the discrimination by providing opportunities to underrepresented groups, okay, particularly in areas like education and employment, which leads you to realize that there are still disparities and underlined racism in different areas, right? So you see that more so come up in education and employment. The goal of affirmative action is to create a more of a fair level playing field by giving individuals who are in those marginalized communities, such as your Black, such as your Hispanic, such as your Native American, other groups, but we see that majority in the Black and Brown community. But the whole point is to hopefully gain access to certain opportunities that they may not have had due to systemic discrimination and the racism thing. For example, so in college admissions, and I want to make sure that if y'all got notes, take notes. In that regard, affirmative action might involve really considering the child's race or ethnicity as one of the factors to help increase the diversity of the body of students. So this doesn't mean that race is the only factor, but it's one of the ways that they call that balance that affects inequality. So we're seeing the effects now on a micro level. You don't see it yet. A lot of us still have children that are still in high school, like myself, but I am putting and throwing seeds in my child's mind that you have to be an overachiever if you're going to make it here. I'm talking to the children. And I already know I can already sense in the spirit. Everybody talking about, that's what I talked about yesterday, coming together and all of that on yesterday. And I'm made that the foundation for today's conversation because y'all don't get it. Affirmative action was in place to be able. Now, did it do people some good? Yes and no. But there was a lot of Black and brown babies that had to take advantage of student loans because they could not afford the tuition fees, even back then, even until now, right? So it gave opportunity to children who in so many ways would not have had the ability to walk through those doors. So a lot of us got our credentials by way of affirmative action. Okay. Some of that's especially if you were a mid high, kind of okay performer, you did all right, you got into a school and you were able to. Many of the times that you see when we have degreed people is because of affirmative action. Now, fast forward to 2024, because this happened last year. So affirmative action was overturned last year, which don't get me started because it happened under the very administration that you want 4 years for. And I don't care, you can bring up Supreme Court all day, but you do have a president that can veto and overturn and make an executive order. Because Democrats, or the Democratic rule, was 12 out of the last 16 years. Anyway, anywho. And be sure you like this video. But for those of y'all with babies in college, and they do okay, this is gonna hurt y'all. And I'm telling you, as a mother of a high schooler, my daughter, I've pressed it into her like a pair of slacks. I said, baby, I can't be at school with you. I can take the phone all day. But if you are distracted, that's why I said I love my baby, but I ain't one of the mamas that's gonna be all embarrassed and disappointed if the stars don't happen for her. But I'm still going to support her. She's still going to be amazing in my book. But I also told her that you need to think about alternative ways of building, because college may not be it for our children. Let's go to the permanent underclass. The aim is to move you into the permanent underclass. That the majority of our children, that's going to be their fate. And this is not to be negative. I don't want to hear that negative. I don't want to hear negative. Let me tell you something. It's not about being negative. It's about being aware. And I think that's probably one of the biggest issues that a lot of people that don't know how to critically think about things, or think about things on a macro and then into a micro level, you're going to miss the whole point. And your children will definitely be affected because you didn't know. You'll think that this is just a normal swoop into. You're like, oh, well, and I don't know why they're struggling so bad. If you were to listen 5 years ago, you would have got some of this information and been proactive. I'm all about proactivity. You have to know the information and know the data so that you can make alternative arrangements when it comes down to your future and planning everything out, right? So the permanent underclass refers to a group of people in society. Listen to what I'm getting ready to say. The permanent underclass refers to a group of people in society who are stuck. That's the definition. Stuck at the bottom, facing long-term poverty. Lack of opportunity. And limited access to education and jobs. Stuck. Ain't no fasting your way out. Stuck. Ain't no praying about it. You stuck. You ever have you ever noticed how it's very interesting that the very race of the very people that go to church more than any other racial group is the one at the bottom and arguing the most? I'm just saying. I think it's it starts looking at correlations and it starts making sense to you. Stuck. Group struggles to move up the social and economic ladder. So it's going to be hard for your babies to know people. It's going to be hard for your babies to build relationships with individuals that don't look like them. Often because of systemic barriers like racism, inadequate schooling, and lack of resources. This group will struggle to move up the social and economic ladder, often because of systemic barriers like racism, inadequate schooling, and lack of resources. So what does this mean, Coach Jay? It means that a certain group of people, often marginalized by race or class, you got two places that you can go in here. If you gonna be Black, you either gonna choose to stay Black or be in the upper wealth class. You can choose which way you're gonna roll. So if I'm gonna be pro-Black and power to the people and conscious community and all this other, then I'm gonna have to choose the race. Okay. And race means you're automatically going to be at the bottom by default because you don't want to level up classes. So you got to get rich. That's the only way you're going to make this happen. You're going to have money. Welcome to 1920. Welcome to 1930. Your men lost the war. They didn't try to get it back in 2020. They didn't try to get it in 2021. You know what they did? They went after the woman. Okay? Just telling you, get rich, please. Woo. Race or class. That means that this group, often marginalized by race or class, choose ye this day, and they can't break free from poverty and hardship. They will always have or be in hardship. It's going to be but for those of you who understand class, because I'm going to talk about that because I'm not going to talk more. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that permanent piece. I'm going to be talking more about class. Okay. Because that's where you need to be trying to aim for. You need to learn class. And it's God is gonna fix it. Permanent. 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 That's all this is all this is by design. This is on purpose. Silly, silly, silly. On purpose. You're either gonna go by way of race or class, okay? And if you're going by race for real, like I said, conscious communities and pro, and we're going to, I'm saving my people from their sins. Those are the individuals that will face the most hardship. When this class, not this class, but this group volunteered to stay at the bottom. You're trying to lead a people that have not learned how to take care of themselves by way of the 4 main areas, which is food. Every time we go over someone's house, it's always neck bones and gravy smothered in all this other stuff. Salt, sugar, salt, sugar, salt, 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 and sugar. Not blood pressure and hypertension. So food, water, medicine, like herbs and stuff like that. We don't even know how to heal ourselves. We don't know how to heal ourselves. And water. We're not in control of any of those 4 areas. We're not in control of that. We don't, we got yards. Some of y'all got yards, backyards, front yards, and you don't know how to grow your own food. Girl, we said we ain't gonna mess up that yard. Okay, silly. You got land in the backyard and no garden. Okay. Not even trying to lie. Kristen said, not judging, but I've noticed a lot of community leaders for the Black community is overweight and suffering from some illness. Yeah. They get kickbacks and stuff like that. They get kickbacks. They get kickbacks. Okay. Oh, this right here. So I'm gonna read this again, just so y'all can understand, because I need to get through this. So it means that a certain group, right, often marginalized by race or class, can't break free from poverty and hardship. They face difficulties that make it almost impossible. They face difficulties that make it almost impossible to get ahead, such as poor education. In schools where they ain't got no air in it, rat problems, lack of technology, lack of updated technology. Okay, limited job opportunities, which means, we got to look at, you know what I'm saying? Limited job opportunities and societal discrimination. So there's gonna be some places that your children can't even go into. It's almost like going into the 1950s, 1960s all over again, because a lot of our children don't even know how to be in spaces by themselves and have conversations. We don't even know how to write the whole sentences. They write like they text. This I can tell when somebody is behind. When you're writing to me, or when you're writing emails to me or DM me, and your writing looks like you're texting. Well, it's just casual. I'm gonna say this again for leaders. Leaders should not be writing as their text. Raise the standard of excellence in all ways. Always. Okay. So this creates a cycle where generation after generation stays in an impoverished state. They stay in poverty, unable, not able, unable. They never escape the conditions that kept them down and is keeping them down. So I'm just trying to tell you, you have to decide if you're going to be pro all this other stuff, or you're going to raise up classes because you have to save your children. You are the savior of your children. You are the Joseph. You are the Moses of your generation, of your children. Even those of you who have not brought in babies yet, and you're waiting on your husband or your mate or your partner, you got to set up the infrastructure. So for those of you with children and have a child or children, multiple children, this is your, you got to get it together. Okay. All this extra stuff that you do, you got to go after big deals, baby. We are hightailing. Let me say, this is the first year. See, a lot of y'all ain't seen the macro level of this yet. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Y'all here? Everybody listening? Give me some hearts if you can hear me. I want to make sure that y'all can, don't fall asleep on me. I just need y'all to come on. I need y'all to honor what I'm saying today. And it's not that I want you to think like me. I'm encouraging you to have conversations that raise up the level of awareness of where you at, because when you got a lot of people in group think and everybody's repeating the same stuff, there's a glitch in the matrix and you're in it. And it's your responsibility to challenge the matrix. And you need to let them know, like, okay, but our children aren't going to suffer from this. It's not about what they feel right now, because a lot of people are only focused on how they feel at this exact moment, but they're not looking at 5 years down the line when the children are still living with them. And y'all are all eating the same pinto beans out of the same pot. So this creates a cycle from generation to generation that stays in poverty, unable to escape the conditions that keep them down. So when the affirmative action thing, overturned, right? So MIT and some other colleges and universities have also reported their results. They saw a significant drop. And I want to say it's like 17%, 8%, somewhere around there, with Black and brown people being admitted, whether they were, the results and measure of the, see, this is what I'm trying to say. They actually get a chance, the currency, the more currency, you had time to raise up the level of consciousness collectively. And the more currency ran out. I don't know if y'all need to go and look at Boondocks founder on Google, on YouTube. Very good speech that he gave. It happened in 2023. No, 2003. And he was at a university, I think it was at HBCU, and he was talking about how the moral currency of the Black collective has ran out. And the powers that be are actually impatient with you. And you didn't catch up. Like your families did not come together. No one challenged the system because they were scared of being unalive, because they know that that's usually what happens when you make a people very empowered. They will search for you and take you out. But see, if you by yourself and the men are not coming into a collective way and powerfully challenging the system, you as the woman are going to have to decide if your children. That's why I said this is a matriarchal era, and the men don't even understand it. The woman has to secure the children. You're the one. A lot of the men are not there. They're not even thinking about that. They're thinking about podcasts. They're thinking about, baby meals and starting podcasts about baby meals, and then, having 9 women in a poly, tribe, and thinking it's cute, and raising up children that don't even know themselves, and seeing their mom cry every night because she worried about what the dad, that she ain't got no business being within the first place. So recent affirmative action, which helped many Black and brown children gain access to higher education, was overturned. It was overturned. This is at MIT and other universities. This change has led to a sharp drop in the number of the Black and brown babies being admitted. Affirmative action aimed to level the playing field. So we back to that. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. We back in the class again. This is Reconstruction era all over again. We're going backwards. Hold on, because I gotta look this up. Y'all not. Ooh, Lord. Because y'all really think that this is playtime. Because on a macro and micro level impact, it's gonna sting you in a minute, especially those of you with children that's going into high school, middle school, and then or getting ready to leave. I gotta look this up real quick. So when it comes down to on a macro level, the big picture, right? So the big picture, that's gonna come in a minute. But I'm gonna tell you, micro level, small, the what you can't see that's happening. That you can't see on a micro level, individual students from Black and brown babies might struggle more to get into top universities, leading to fewer opportunities for higher paying jobs. You got to have money. You got to have money. Mm. I'm telling you. Yeah, this is so you're gonna have to take on debt, major debt, or you can borrow from your business. On a macro level, you're going to see fewer Black and brown babies in the fields, like them, right? But this could also widen the gap between different racial groups in terms of wealth and job opportunities, which means more of your counterparts. What is happening is that they are moving back to what they want the world to look like for them. They're telling you who they want at the bottom, verbatim. Your babies are going to not be okay. They need to be able to read and read at high levels. They're going to have to be able to count and count at high levels. They're going to have to be able to communicate and communicate at high levels. This is about, I'm not teaching. This is, let me tell y'all something. Your baby's gonna have to eat. When I saw that affirmative action was overturned, I looked at my Facebook, I looked at my TikTok, none of what you were talking about, and I said to myself, it ain't hit nobody yet because you ain't seen it on your front door. It ain't affected you yet, but it's gonna affect, especially millennials, and it's gonna grieve you with your children and your grandchildren because they're going to be living this because you had an opportunity. We are going to be the baby boomers, the mindset of the baby boomers almost. This is how it's going to be to our grandchildren because we had an opportunity to change. They're going to resent, especially our grandchildren. They're going to resent the grandparents. So while you shucking and jiving, I told y'all about corporatocracy, I meant that. I meant corporatocracy. I meant that because you're not understanding how this works. This is a system that you are not learning. This is a game that you are not mastering. You're not learning. This is not about your emotion. A lot of y'all want to get out of corporate America. I'm tired of corporate America. I don't want to be in corporate America, but you're not learning the game. There is a game to be played, and for you to not know what that is. Because like I told y'all, some of y'all in y'all 30s and 40s, like late 30s and 40s and 50s, this is it for you. This is your last portal to get rich. You got to run in with all your might and stop this foolishness if I don't want to burn out. Burning out in poverty. You burning out in poverty? Like that's okay for you? Like, are you okay? Corporatocracy is a term used to describe a society or system where corporations, we're in it. Corporations, large business entities hold significant power and influence over government decisions. Look at how much money your girl got. One of her biggest donors was Google. That was the biggest corporate donor that she had. And look at how much they gave her. It's going to drop. You're going to drop your mouth. I found out, I was 1 week old when I found out that the donors are not really donors. They're loans. Our corporate dollars pay that stuff back. Our tax dollars, I mean that. Our tax dollars. Decisions, policies, and the economy that you have no control over, that you're not trying to get. I told you a long time ago that if you're gonna be voting, you better choose politicians that you can put money behind. This ain't about votes. I told you, look it up. Look it up. Google. Google. We're going to take the corporations down. How? You owe them. This is why, silly. This is why Democrats are the party of the workers, the party of the people, the party of labor. Republic. You're in a republic. Look at what you want me to tell you what the difference is so y'all don't have to look at, because I could tell you the research, but you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna do that. Let me help you. Because I have to, like, I like reading it so that it can come out clear, because I want to make sure because I know, I just want you to understand, okay? And I want to make sure it's coming from sources that, okay? Because y'all don't get it. A democracy is a system where the power lies directly in the hands of people in a pure or direct democracy. Citizens have the opportunity to vote. That's not where you at. They want you to feel like that. That's not where you're at. Republic is a type of government rule where the people elect representatives to make decisions and govern on their behalf. In a republic, the power rests with the elected officials rather than the people directly. In a republic, there is a constitution. Ensuring that the majority does not infringe upon the rights of minorities. However, it emphasizes the rule of law and includes checks and balances within the government structure. To the republic for which it stands. To the republic for which it stands. to the republic for which it stands. Did y'all get up and some of y'all say with your hand over your heart? I don't stand with my hand on my heart no more. I don't. I haven't done it in years. United States is a republic. It has democratic elements because y'all vote, but it is structured as a republic. You vote because you feel like voting. It only shows your elected officials who you prefer for them to go on your behalf, Electoral College. Our vote counts. You influence, you're trying to persuade. It only persuades. It's built to influence the elected official to vote on your behalf. That's why you have the Electoral College. They ultimately make the decisions based on several factors such as lobbyists, corporate funding, how much is going to impact the bottom line. I'm just telling you. There's a structure of laws and you don't know them. There's a structure of principles and you don't know them. This is a class system. So I'm telling you this for a reason. There's a reason why Black women and Black men are not getting married. They don't want you to. There's a reason why you see a lot of women having babies at wedlock. They need a labor force. They can't have everybody smart. They can't have everybody being a genius. But I'm saying, if you're gonna have more children, Kristen, she said, I think I'm only one and done because this. No, I want you to have more babies. If you're gonna have more babies, you better have some wealth. You need to have some wealth. You need to have some stuff going on. Y'all don't get it. And if you don't know how to use your mind and use your power to get what you want, you're constantly using the same religion of the same people. The same people that actually want to keep you, that just overturn affirmative action. Woo! Keep going to the same, reading the same stuff, listen to the same people that's telling you, we don't want to sacrifice merit. You know what merit, you know how they say? We don't want to, no, we don't want to sacrifice the merit of the university. We don't want to sacrifice that. Are you kidding me? No, we want it to be a level playing field because the Black folk and the melanated, and they had a chance and they didn't come up. So okay. Merit refers to the quality. Merit refers to the quality of being particularly good or worthy, especially so as to deserve praise or reward. So in other words, it's about earning something based on your ability, skills, effort, or achievements, rather than on external factors like wealth, connections, or race. Okay. Ability, skills, and effort, which means that you're not going to get in just based on the color of your skin anymore. You're going to have to be measured up to others who are also high performers. that have ability, skills, effort, or achievements rather than external factors like wealth, connections, or race. So the level playing field has been brought to effort, skills, abilities, and achievements. So if your children are not doing anything in school, they're just, and you think they're gonna go somewhere, they ain't going nowhere. If they're not trying to do anything leadership driven or anything like that to go up against some of these children, I want to go to Spelman, and I want to go. You're not going to Spelman with a 3.0 GPA, and then you got all these other children, and then also there are going to be students that ain't going to look like you going to these schools, and they're going to get in, and they're going to take all these spots, and you're going to be HBCU, HBCU. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's free for all because you didn't fight for it. You didn't say nothing. Your men were on podcast telling you you weren't feminine enough and you arguing back with them. So what happens? Affirmative action get taken away because you attracted. So your children are going to be going to community college or they're not going to be going in. And when I say community, there's no shade to anybody who went to community college, but you know what I'm talking about. Your children have to learn how to take care of themselves. There's no shade to community college. So before you get in my inbox talking about, but I went to community college and that came out fine. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that they are lowering the bar for your babies. And you know what I'm talking about. Don't get offended by what I'm saying. If you could have went to Yale, if you could have went to Spelman, if you could have went to Howard, you would have went. And you know what I'm saying. If you could have went to Vanderbilt. And I'm not saying to some of y'all that went, good for you, but you know what I'm talking about in terms of more of our children being getting access. L, please educate people on that. Thank you. Because HBCUs really aren't HBCUs if you come to think about it. Y'all better learn what you're saying. Your children are going to miss out. So, for example, in school, students might be given awards or scholarships based on merit, which means that they earned it. They earned it due to hard work, good grades, or outstanding achievements in certain subjects. Asian Americans had the highest percentage increase in these colleges. They were ready for us to move out the way. The idea of merit is often used in discussions about fairness, as it suggests that rewards and opportunities should go to those who have truly earned them. I see y'all fighting. John Rockefeller also was the one that said that he wanted a nation of workers too. Y'all come on to the other side and look at the game for what it is. I went to a PWI, so I'm right in there with y'all. Y'all better come on here. It's control. They got to keep you. They gotta look at what you're doing. You can't be too great. So this ain't about. No, we don't have that many blacks here. And see, you got children. Absolutely more. She said they always got that money. Period. Period. In the story. What I am fighting for, I'm fighting for the children. That's what I'm fighting for. If y'all want to fight for these institutions, you want to fight for your God, you want to fight for your Jesus, you go right in. But I'll fight for your children on your behalf since you forget. If your children are watching and we'll watch, this is what they need to be doing. I need y'all to understand that you need a contingency plan. I have never talked that way before, but for some of us, that's just what it's going to be. You need a contingency plan. If you can't get to the school of your choice, you're going to need a backup. You're going to have to either settle for certifications and traditional college, and this is why I'm trying to tell y'all about online education businesses, that subsidies are going to be able to be given out to people that have legit online companies, online education companies. You need to be building your university, your mini university. Y'all don't understand it. This is why you're going to continue to have issues, because you're not listening to what is going on. You're not looking and you're not thinking about the future. You're either going to get subsidies for this to learn some skills, teach skills, because the children ain't gonna have no money. Their mamas ain't gonna have no money either. They're not gonna be able to go to some of these schools, and when they do away with the Department of Education, I only know about his posts, freaking out. They're telling you what they're doing. That is happening. The Department of Education is going to be dissolved. And what are you gonna do about your children? Because some of y'all gonna have to homeschool them. What you gonna do? So now you're going to be trying to scramble to get them into some type of private institution. And because affirmative action happened, they can rule your school. Rule your baby out. We got enough black and brown. We all right. That's enough. What are you going to do? This is why building community is so important. Because some of your people at your church, they got children that's barely going to school. All these black women out here, all these melanated women, all these black and brown women, all these women, no matter if you're a minority or not, or if you are a white person or a white woman or a white man or Asian, whoever, and you care and you are an ally to the black community or the black collective, you're going to see to it that we're going to put some stuff together, financial literacy skills, something simple as that. Some of y'all don't even understand that you're sitting on a gold mine. You need to plan for that in the next 6 to 8 months. You need to create some type of course where children, even adults, can enroll their children into your program, and they don't have to be necessarily a coach. They can go through a self-study course, or that you can have a call with them a couple of times. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Karen, thank you. Y'all talking about something. The school system should teach financial literacy. Why aren't you teaching it? Why aren't you taking your baby through that? Put it out there, Amor. Put it out there. Kristen, they said, we should say this, they said bookstore sales are at an all-time high. Kristen, can you elaborate on that, please? I saw that somewhere. Quanisha, absolutely. This is me and my friend was at Barnes and Noble this past weekend, and I think I bought maybe 2 books, but I told him, I said, it's almost like I need $500 to just go straight up. I need to just go straight up ham in these bookstores. Talking about getting spiritual books, Amazon. I need to be ordering all the Apocrypha Bibles. I want older Bibles. I want newer Bibles. I need to start going to these estate sales and getting some of these old books. And I got them all around me. And I be thinking on Saturdays, I'm like, man, I should have went on down. I need to be looking for them. Estate sales and going to get some of these old books that these folks left behind. Mainly, that's right, Kristen. You're absolutely correct. Resellers. Yes, L, yes, I sure will. Because this is what I'm saying. The race theory, what is it called? Critical race theory, being erased. We're going into 2030. They want a chill, they want a group that has forgotten where they came from because they want you to just, oh, it's not that big of a deal. That's when your children or your grandchildren are gonna be, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, it's fine. Permanent. Permanent. Get your children together. Get your stuff together. Start buying more books. Start reading more. Gotta start doing it, y'all. This is it. This is it. The Democratic Party is off the scene. Listen to me. I'm in with this. The Democratic Party is often seen as the party of the workers, advocating for policies that support working class people. Working class people. You say nothing about that again. However, some argue that both political parties are increasingly influenced by corporate interests, which is true, leading to what some call a corporatocracy, where corporations have too much power in government, which is true. So for Black and brown folks, this shift could mean that policies meant to help the working class, it may not fully address the unique challenges faced by marginalized communities. If corporations prioritize profit over people, the needs of the permanent underclass may be overlooked, and you will just get the bottom of the barrel. So the overturning of affirmative action is just one example of how the barriers are showing up, and it continues to challenge the Black and brown community. So if we have our white sisters and brothers that are looking at this is a head start into that type of work. If your men, if your families are not committed to tackling this is the age of Aquarius, right? So I told y'all, I told you, this is no longer about Jesus gonna work it out. I'm not telling you to be an atheist either. I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not telling you to be an atheist. I'm not telling you to do that. But whose God against whose God is winning at this point? Some of y'all need to tap into the spirit of Elijah. And you know what I'm talking about. You need to call fire down, honey. I'm just telling you. You got to tap into another. You got to tap into another realm. If you know that you're not powerful enough to get it, you got to tap another consciousness to get it. I'm almost done. This situation also ties into the broader political and economic dynamics where the influence of corporations might threaten the ability of the part of the working class to support marginalized communities. So this is the thing though. The government right now is not your best friend. So you need to be trying to build your courses. Ain't gotta be a whole lot of money for the babies. Encourage them to pay for it. Ain't gotta be $150. Ain't gotta be $500. But you need to be trying to you need to be trying to build this stuff up, talking about financial literacy and stuff like that. You need to be trying to build it up. Get your email list together. That's why I told y'all, what I tell you for the past 2 years, invest in what skills? Can I tell you that? AI, This is competition season. This is survival of the most intelligent. I told y'all the survival of the fittest is old. That is third, second, and first industrial revolution. The survival of the fittest was about the body. It was about the physical attainment of things. This is the fourth industrial revolution where we're using the mind. And if your children cannot hold a conversation without going to the phone, that's an issue in itself. Your children's attention span has to be longer than a squirrel's, which is under, our human attention already is less than a squirrel, which is less than 8 seconds before we move to something else because we can't stay focused. So again, we're in merit. This is about merit. If your children are not active in school, they're not volunteering, abilities, their skills are lacking effort, and they're like having all these babies and then they get into adulthood having all these children and ain't got no husband and all this kind of stuff. They permanent. And I'm not even saying that with shade. I'm a mother too. Mine is just as much out there as your child is. This is competition season. That's why I said all these babies out here just can't even fend for themselves. Karen, that's all I'm saying, because it's gonna get to a point where it's gonna get expensive, and some of y'all that's loosey goosey on these systems, like you opt in, you try out something for a week, and then because you're not moving in the business, you stop and you start again, and you stop. You got to pay for this stuff with the sales. Don't let this stuff get ahead of you, and you ain't ahead. I'm at this desk all day today. Let me tell you how they roll. I got a laser strategy session in 30 minutes. After that, I gotta go to Office Depot to run do an errand. And I'm in my desk, baby. I'm checking in with the matriarchs. I'm gonna go live in their group in a minute to jolt them a little bit. And we going on. This is not for the weak, baby. I'm telling you. So the directives are get to work. The directives is raise the level of standard. Like go back to the vision. Like even today, some of y'all need to write down what do I know. Write down all the skills that you know how to do. Computer, tech, what you know, what you can teach. Write a list, throw it up in ChatGPT, tell it to give you 30 course ideas for children 12 through 18, 19 through 25. For all these generations that's after us, you need to get your house in order. There's too much out here and too much opportunity for you to get yourself together, for you to be left behind. This is what the rapture is, baby. I'm ready for Jesus to come on. Let me tell you something, baby. Just sweet. Jesus, just sweet. I am. Don't play. Everything points back to you. Jesus, je suis. Jesuis, je suis. I am. Okay. That's all I got. Y'all ain't talking back to me, so I guess they went over your head too. That's all right. I'm going to the guy. I don't know about everybody else. Write down all your skills. Write them out, write them out, write them out. Okay. Okay. All right, that's all I had to say. I hope y'all share this. I will be taking this down. I'm taking this down and putting it on YouTube. I'm not gonna keep it on Facebook. So you got all day to look at it. Write down all your skills. Know all of what you know. Everything you know. I'm talking about I don't care if it's basket weaving. I don't care if it's making pot roast. I don't care if it's learning how to fold laundry. Write down all, write down all the skills that you know how to do and ask ChatGPT to belch this bad boy out. Get a platform, put them self-study courses up there, y'all, and y'all, the ChatGPT can make presentations for you now. Like even Canva, like use the AI stuff. Yes, Charlene, absolutely. And go back and look at the whole thing, y'all. And like I said, I'm gonna remove this live. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube. And I'm gonna allow my my tribe, my email list. I'm gonna let them know when it's up. They can go and rewatch it, comment on, engage. Let your children know, let your friends know that have children. Do not hold this back because I really want to get the word out that we got to get our babies together. We care about the children. We care about our children's children. And it is our responsibility. If the government is not going to take care of us, if the government is not going to see to it that our children are in they got a chance, we got to make the chance for them, even if they have to be by themselves, even if they got to run their own companies, their small businesses, even if we move overseas somewhere or move to the tropics in order for our children to have a chance to thrive. And we're not playing, and we're not letting nobody play with us. Okay, I'm not letting nobody play with me. Okay, I want grandchildren. Okay, all right, I gotta go to work. I gotta work. I got laser strategy session and then the matriarchs, and we're going on. All right, love y'all. Have a blessed rest of your day and get to work. You got stuff to do. 6 months. 6 months. Bye.